We're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Casual Watch Talk Live. This is our kind of launch episode. We've done live streams before, but we're going to try and keep it a little bit more consistent. So we would love to have you along. We should be live on the Facebooks and the YouTubes. And so let us know in the comments if you can hear us okay. And we've got 4 people currently watching, so welcome. I'm joined by Chris from Everyday Mastery, who's my regular host on the podcast, and Jason from Watch Rolling. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Or I think we're all joining each other, aren't we? Because it seems we're all presenting this together.
Yeah.
Oh, Todd's joined. Hi, Todd. Welcome.
Yeah, we're getting okay. Sounds good.
Oh, awesome. All good with the sound. Awesome. Oh, hey, Cherished. Thanks for joining us. Okay, well, should we kick this off with? Should we do a wristwatch check? Might as well get the ball rolling. And then we've got some stories we want to go over as well. Bit of Christopher Ward, bit of Moon Swatchness, and also some new citizens, which are interesting. That I think are released some mechanical ones. But we'll do a wristwatch check, shall we? Chris, do you want to kick it?
Yeah, sure. I'll kick it off. I've got the GMT on. Doing some work today. It's my Bell & Rouse GMT. On the bracelet. It's funny. I actually packed 3 watches for the trip. We're visiting some family, and I tried to cover all bases, and this was definitely one where I was on the bracelet, and it's my sort of everyday work watch. So that's what I've got.
Nice.
Jason,
I like that one.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing my to keep in the theme.
Yeah.
I have my Zen 105 UTC.
Ah, so good.
Oh man,
yeah.
it's just
So good.
it's a very subtle little stunner.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that was the standard. Was it last year that was released? Or God, the years
I
emerging.
feel like almost 2. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely would have picked that up if I wasn't wearing this. It's a great, and it's very complimentary. It's like the same sort of style, that like minimal orange hand. It's very, very zen, very tool watch. Great stuff.
You can wear it with anything. That's what I love about it. I mean, I can just throw a simple gray NATO on it, and then I can go this way, or I can throw something with some character on it and go that way, and it still works. Very
cool.
nice.
Jason, did you have to go through the rigmarole with watch buys and fill out the order form and everything, or where did you get it from?
I got it from Watch Buys. Watch Buys, and it didn't seem very very strenuous or anything. I went in there and filled everything out. I got it. They had the only mistake I made is I got the one on the strap and not the one on the bracelet. But I'm still kind of new at collecting watches, so now I know. I always buy it with the bracelet and then ditch the bracelet, put it in the box, and then do whatever you got to do. But their customer service was pretty sweet, man. Like, I mean, within 15 minutes of hitting, of buying it, I had a phone call, and they were like, "Hey, do you have any questions about the watch, yada yada yada?" And I was like, "No, but that's pretty cool. No one's ever done that before." Zales isn't calling you.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt the opposite. I felt it was a little obtrusive, but that's just me. I like I'm very about the no friction buy. Like, if you just buy online and you're like, listen, I don't want to talk to these people. I just want to press a button, and then an hour later I want it in my house, Amazon. Like, just this is. And so then they called, and they made it a purchase, and I understand why they do it, and also just sort of verify your details, which is good. But I was like,
I can tell you that I bought a Fortis from there, and when I did that, they didn't call me.
Yeah, okay. Right, well, so, I guess
they're betting $500.
Different story.
I'm still wearing the old Seiko speed timer. My little Seiko. I love it on this this bun strap that McCullough made. Yeah, it's, I don't know, I've really warmed to it. A little quartz Seiko. If anybody's interested in me having a friendly disagreement about Seiko, me and the guys at Scottish Watches had a interesting discussion about Seiko. I'm sometimes play around with them, a little bit critical of some of their decisions, but they are big Seiko fans, and they actually got to see some of the new Grand Seikos and stuff like that. So we had a very interesting debate, which I think Pete from Not So Obvious Watches is going to debate me on it as well. But we started getting some questions in, and this is one for you, Chris. Did you see this one? Like,
I did. No, I didn't do it. No. I saw the question. No, I did not.
Oh God!
Right into it. Yeah. No. Right into
block.
Yeah. No, I didn't sell it. I'm so far, like it's not in the. It's in a rotation. I still love it. I still pick it up. It still gets worn. So I think it's more of a summer style for me. Because it's blue and it's fun color, and it's a dive watch really, so it's can survive going out in the water kind of thing. So I look forward to like going out sailing with it. That's a perfect use case for that. It has the yacht timer. We probably won't be doing any yacht racing this summer, but can always dream about that.
And Canadian Watch Monkey, thanks for the question. And also, it looks like you've posted it into a Christopher Ward Facebook group, which is good. And a little plug for my YouTube channel. I posted the link to the interview I did with Mike. Mike France. But then I also posted the little slice of gold that he said about the logo. I don't know.
That was great. I was actually just. It's funny. I looked, so the C65 chronograph has the Christopher Ward, but it's like stacked and centered, and doesn't have the swish, as Mike France called it, but it is on the rotor. So and I'm a fan of it. The fact that they just chose like one logo, I think that was maybe sort of their last controversy, but very, very interesting that they had to kind of go through that. So glad that's over.
We'll get to a couple more questions actually, guys, while we're here. First one, Matt Deacon's asking, are there any great Ukrainian watch brands? There is a Ukrainian watch brand. I can't remember the name of it, but my watch strap was made by Mykola from Man Cave Leather, who is Ukrainian. He actually managed to... He's now in Canada. Him and his wife are now safely in Canada. But when he starts to spin Man Cave Leather back up as well, I've got a number of things that he's sent me over the years as we've done reviews and collabs together. So I'll be doing an auction to help get him set back up again, because obviously he has to leave all of his leather making tools and all of that stuff. So I was taking the product shots and everything. So we'll either do it on a live stream, or I'll find some way of doing it that's in accordance with the YouTube. Keep on the right side of the YouTubes there. And then, Chris, do you want to take this one? This one from Jeremy here.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy said, got to see some Christopher Ward in person at Windup. The Windup Watch Fair was just in San Francisco, right? And he was beyond impressed. Picked up the super compressor.
Nice.
The C65 chronograph maybe next. Yeah, that super compressor. I mean, when that first came out, we were Sam and I were over the moon with that. We just think it's so well designed.
And that's an actual recreation of an actual super compressor, right?
Right.
Not the super compressor style.
Yeah, no, it like is the whole the whole back of it and everything. They really went to town with the engineering, which is cool. It's cool.
Yeah, we should pull up the let's actually pull up some of the, because we can talk about this as well, because I spoke to Mike. I am yet to how do I get this? Oh, I didn't mean to do it full screen. I meant to do it. Let's do it. I meant to do a share.
Nice picture, though.
Yes, I meant to do it so people can see us as well. Let's we're still learning. We're still picking it up. There we go. We're on the side as well.
All right, nice.
Yeah, so I interviewed, if anybody's, I'm sure you are familiar, but I interviewed Mike about these new Aquitaine watches. But guys, we've not had chance to speak with each other about these yet, have we? Except for just the odd message. But what were your thoughts on this? And I'll perhaps share some of the feedback I got in the comment section. But what do you think on this, Chris or Jason, on these?
I think they're handsome pieces,
Yeah, I really like. I mean, the dial design is spot on. If you pull up one of the blue ones on like the leather strap, That one right there. Like the design, I think they've got it now dialed in. I mean, this is what I expect as like a great dive watch. The layout's great. I'm super excited. I mean, I know Sam, you're excited for the center date, but I think it's something that they're gonna stick with, and that's just gonna be part of their design language. Really cool. Now, is the bezel sapphire?
Yeah.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a domed, it's like a rounded sapphire.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they sent me some, you can see some of the product shots there, but they sent me some many product shots of it, and it looks amazing. I know Miguel at SoCal Watch Reviews managed to get his hands on the bronze one, and I am still seething with jealousy, and I texted him to tell him as much.
Nice.
So I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these. But yeah, it is a real evolution for them. It's a familiar, certainly a familiar style of watch. Somebody actually commented on one of my videos saying, "Oh, this just looks like a Rolex," and I'm like, "Well, which Rolex do you know that looks like that hasn't got a crown guard?" But the lot of detail that they put into these watches about the seagrass and all of that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Is there any? Yeah,
that's the symmetry of the dial is very. Them deciding on their logo and then not having the word. I mean, everything just
kind of lined up for them.
Yeah, it lines up perfectly. And then on the one that you showed with the blue dial with the 2 pops of red, where they did the red font on the bottom, and then I think it was the second hand had a little bit of red on it. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And just to like keep with our base here, we're having a conversation about a Swiss-made British watchmaker who's offering a sapphire dive watch that's no doubt has an amazing movement in it. It's going to come to your house and it's going to be right on time as far as its accuracy and its shipping and everything. And what are we listing here? 900 pounds. So just over $1,000 US dollars, I assume.
Yeah, it's like 1,100 and something, isn't it? But of course, you wait for your Loop magazine. This is not sponsored, but they always do a very generous voucher if you're on their VIP.
Yep. And so that, I mean, as far as like value for money, it's really hard to beat. I'm glad that there's a lot that there's a bunch of, they're kind of getting here to the United States. People are buying them. I'm seeing them more in watch meetups. I brought my C60, I bring my C65 all the time, and people are just generally like, I've never held a Christopher Ward, and like, we had from I think Jeremy said had never sort of experienced it, and then once you hold one, once you see you immediately like the quality's there. It's the movements beautifully finished in the back, and so value for money super high. I love it.
I ran across a couple at a brewery one time, and the gentleman, he had on, I was looking at his watch. This was when I was still really new, and I think I had my Lunar Pilot at the time on or something. He's like, "Oh, is that a Lunar Pilot?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What do you have?" And he had one of the first iterations of a Christopher Ward, where it had the name on it, and even he's like, "I've had this for a couple of years," but even holding it, I was like, "Wow, man, this thing's really well made." And I know, as usually as companies move along, they tend to streamline their processes and get better at creating stuff. And I was impressed with that early Christopher Ward model's build quality.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so as soon as I can get a hold of one, I will be doing a review. That I have actually got one in for review. They sent me the bronze Sealander, so that's a cost regulated one. And it has a sapphire dial on it, and it's interesting because the sapphire dial's a smoky grey. In certain lights, it looks almost mirrored, which gives an interesting effect to the watch. I don't know whether I've totally warmed to it yet, having that kind of mirrored effect to the dial, but it's certainly got. And it's funny because the way it's patinaed, it's obvious. I'm not the first reviewer to get this. They have review samples that they send around, but you can see fingerprints on it, and so it's like everybody that's reviewed it has kind of inadvertently left their mark on the case of the watch, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
I was interviewing for a podcast Sunil, who is a member of our Facebook group, the live stream, and for the podcast. And he was saying that he's owned both of the Tudors, the silver and the bronze. And he said that actually the bronze nicely patinaed, but the silver didn't tarnish, which is because Chris, we heard, didn't we, that the silver tarnished, but he said that he
I've seen a couple of videos of people that have them, and they do over time. That 925, man. Oh, bro, I'm telling you, it's on my grail. It's on my grail list. I'd have to hold it first. I'd have to wear it, put it on my wrist, and see. But there's something so pleasantly appealing to the eye about just how, it's silver and then the dial's gray, but it's just slightly different contrast in the grays and silvers, but it all works. And that thing, I really want to see one in real life.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he liked it. This is quite a little plug for the podcast. This is quite an interesting episode because Sunil bought, over a period of only 2 or 3 years, bought what you would consider almost every single desirable tool watch. He had 3 Rolex GMTs. I think you've seen it on the Facebook group, haven't you, Chris? And probably Jason. He's had Breitlings. He had Tudor Black Bay 58s, Tudor Black Bays, Tudor Pelagos. He's had loads of them, and then he decided towards the end of last year he sold them all. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Miguel, how are you?
Hey, Miguel, how you doing?
Hey, Miguel, jump on if you like. Do you want me to? I can post the link. It should be in the meeting invite that I added you to. Feel free. I know you're coaching your son's soccer team, I think, so you might be watching there. But
maybe just watching.
Yeah. Feel free if you. Even though I've not forgiven you for getting that Christopher Ward before me, I'll let you on.
Yeah. Denied.
Denied. So was there?
Cool.
I've got another story about these new Citizen mechanicals, but before I get to that, if you have any other, Jason, was there anything you wanted to go over?
I was going to ask you guys about the Pelagos. Have either one of you handled a Pelagos?
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. They're great.
They are
really
great.
Good. Yeah, they're really good. I was on the struggle with it.
See, I've been going back and forth. I've been having this existential crisis lately, right? So I have my collection. I've put some stuff to the side that I'm going to start moving. Right, I'm going to sell some stuff off.
270, 300 watches. What are we talking about here?
I think I have like maybe 12 total. 12,
right,
and it's getting to the point with, I'm not wearing stuff, and I have some.
Right.
Like, I have the Black Manta. I don't wear it enough, and it's a beautiful watch. I'd rather have it go to someone else.
For me, it's about 8. For Sam, I think it's about 2. Where he starts to get those things off the list. Okay, all right. So
So I want to go down to about 5, I think 5 or 6.
Okay.
And the Pelagos is one that I've been looking at, and I know there's a black version, right?
Right.
So I'm on this weird kick, and just bear with me. So when I retired from the Navy, you wear a uniform for 20 years, and you basically don't have to think about dressing. So like most people, right when I retired, I was like, oh man, I'm going to wear all these cool clothes. And about 3 months into it, because I was still going to college, I was like, this is ridiculous. You know how much time I'm wasting? Like, this is horrible. So I told my wife one day, I'm like, hey, we're going to go to a store that I know they have business casual clothes. And I bought like 7 pairs of gray slacks, like 3 pairs of black slacks. Right. I bought a bunch of black, because I get really warm, but black short sleeve collared like dress shirts and some blue ones, right? And that's it. And so I never had a pair of brown leather shoes and a pair of nice black leather shoes. And for a while there, I was doing socks, but that was even kind of annoying because it's like, well, you never know like the quality of socks. And when I discovered watches, I was like, oh, this is it. I'll have like all these cool watches. But I've also have started to narrow down my focus on watches where it's like, I like the Zen.
Right.
Yep.
Because it's black. It has a little pop of orange, but for the most part, it's just black and whatever strap you put on. I have my T-SAR, my Marathon T-SAR, and that thing is just, brutal, industrial.
Yeah, it's great.
And beauty at its best, right? And
yeah.
And then what else do I also have? I got a Seiko I got modded, but I wanted a Marine Master case.
Okay.
And I wanted the inverse colors of the 143. I know Miguel has the SBB 143, and I like that color scheme, but I always wanted a darker bezel insert and a brighter dial. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get that done. And I'm looking at my watch.
What was that? Sorry, the SBB 143. Sorry.
Yeah, Miguel has it. It's a beautiful watch. Thanks, Miguel.
Oh no, SBD. Sorry.
Yeah, Sierra Papa Bravo.
Oh, Papa
Bravo. Sorry.
I'm from Southern California. Sometimes I say my letters a little funny.
He knows the international alphabet, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of these.
The one all the way on the left, I think, is the 143. And then Miguel takes takes beautiful pictures, and beautiful videos, so you can see, the contrast of the dial and with the bezel. And I always loved that look, but I always wanted a Marine Master case. And if I'm being honest, man, like, they're super expensive on eBay and stuff. And it's like, and there's a gentleman I've been working with, Say Coded on Instagram. Him and I talk all the time, and he's like, hey, let's build a mod. And so I was able to get the Marine Master case. I was able to get a Shogun bezel, and I got a silver dial, and we paid someone to engrave it with my logo and all that stuff, right? But it's just such a beautiful watch, man. It's just like it's everything I love about grays and silvers. That I'm looking at my other stuff, and it's like, okay, I have a SNM 035, the Land Monster,
right?
But that's got you can't manually wind it,
right?
So it's kind of annoying, right? And but it's beautiful, but it's like, And then I have the Blue Whale. I have a Blue Lagoon, which I'm not going to ever get rid of. That thing is just too pretty. So it's just, I'm looking at my collection. I'm like, all right, this Pelagos, if they ever release it in gray,
I see.
I know you're listening, Tudor.
Yeah.
If you ever release that Pelagos in a gray model, sign me up. I will come do physical labor at your warehouse or whatever.
The black is a nice matte color. It's not it's not like a black gloss. It's definitely a matte. It's almost I would almost describe it as a gray, but it's a flat black.
But the blue, that blue, isn't it, Chris? That blue is incredible.
Yeah, and not even their website takes a good picture of the blue. Like, your monitor right now is not representing a good picture of that blue. And Jason, if you're not ready to rep the blue, then this is not the one. You have to wait for the gray one or a black one. So
and I have like my Blue Lagoon. It's just, man, I can look at that dial all day long. It's just a beautiful dial.
And as mentioned, the bracelet on this thing is what really does it. The bracelet is just it's funny when you first handle it. It's any titanium watch generally like this, but particularly the Pelagos. It's so light that you like it. It feels like not real. Feels fake. And as far as like wearing it every day, I'm sure is great.
Yeah.
Because I think the Pelagos would knock my collection down to like 5. I mean, it really would, because I don't understand how, if you have that, you don't wear it a couple of times a week. It's just, I think it deserves to be worn a couple, like, it almost like demands it. It's like, hey man, wear me a couple of times a week.
Jill got another comment here. Jeremy said, interested that so many watch podcasters both flip and want a smaller collection. Pete McConville from Obvious Watches, I presume, is one of the only collectors. Well, Todd also, who was in the chat, is a big watch collector as well.
He's a collector. Yeah.
We've Chris and I definitely have done a podcast on this, and we can certainly do a live stream about my my love of watch collecting, but not of keeping.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it. Sam's more, you're definitely minimalist. You kind of have the minimalist ethos, and you're like, what, if I'm not picking this up in 2 weeks, like, am I gonna wear it next month? This kind of thing.
Yeah.
I find that I go through little mini crises where I'll have a bunch of stuff and I'll be like, if it doesn't talk to me or if it doesn't speak to me, that I'll move on.
Yeah.
And then and then sort of discover, it's all part of the fun, discovering like what you like, what I mentioned, I had a 144, which is a very great looking Zin. They still make it. They still sell a modern version of it. It's got a funky, like it's like 16 mil thick. It's got a funky bracelet connection. It's like I could never. It was never really comfortable. It was not like it was, it was a cool watch, but it was one of those like, it's a cool watch, Instagram darling, takes great pictures with it. But as far as like, am I going to ride my bicycle with this? Am I going to go to the store and have this thing around my wrist kind of thing? So you go through these, moods is where, you kind of look. And I'm definitely, I will collect things, but I'm just like, I know my limits. Once you get over like 5, 6 or something, you're like, all right, I gotta stop.
Yeah. And I think it all comes from, for me, it comes from when I first got a house when I was in my 20s, and it was like my own like rooms and stuff. I wasn't at my parents' house anymore. I wasn't and like the kitchen was all mine, and I ended up, at the time I worked for an Apple Mac reseller, and I was a huge Mac fan when I was a kid, and like there wasn't a lot of Macs, so you felt kind of really important that you owned one. Everyone else had a PC, and I worked at this place where they would recondition old Mac. They were a service center, and they would dispose of these old Macs, but there was a time period where each Apple Mac was an iconic. There was a cube one, there was a blue and white one, there was those iMacs, and they would take them in as part exchanges and then just either put them in a room or they'd throw them out. And then I'd feel like they were these lost Macs, and that I somehow had this this need to preserve them for the future of humanity. So I had like the SE30 and all, and I ended up just filling my loft full of full of Macs at the time.
Mac hardware,
Yeah, and then I realized I was in it got a bit carried away when I was a student with the old credit card, as I think a lot of people do. And I realized that, wow, everything that was in my loft, I could pay off my credit card. So I ended up just flipping my mentality a bit, where I wasn't like saving these for future prosperity. I was basically, but
looks like so a question there.
Yeah, I've got a question here. What's the question? What watch do you regret selling? There's only one that I've ever regretted selling, and I've talked about this before, but Jason, why don't you, is there anything you've ever regretted watch-wise?
I don't really, but I had like 1 second of doubt for myself. When I sold my Lunar Pilot, it was a really cool watch, man. I love the history behind it and all the provenance and everything. Yeah, the Bulova Lunar Pilot. And I just had the straight up Lunar Pilot. I didn't have like the special edition. I had the one that came with the leather like crocodile strap and the NATO strap with the mission time and date and frequency and all that stuff on it, which is a really cool strap, by the way. That Zulu strap is really well built. And I looked at this watch and it was beautiful, and I understand the ultra high frequency movement and all that stuff. I mean, it's a kick butt watch, but every time I wore it, I was just kind of like, man, you know. So then I sold it. And then a couple of weeks ago, you know how it is in the whole watch sphere, right? Everyone's making videos about Bulova now, right? And it's everyone's talking about Bulova, and look how great the Bulova Lunar Pilot is. And I was like, but I was like, what? I don't even like it. Like, I respect it, but I don't like it enough to wear it. And I think that's where my propensity for dive watches comes in, because, I was on ships for 20 years, man.
Right.
I love that aesthetic. You give me some bronze, give me some brass, give me some steel, sharp contrasting colors, because we use a lot of that. We use the international orange. We have stuff that's red, stuff that's blue. And it's kind of like, which is why I appreciate this, though, at the same time. Because, certain things feel more industrial. And then when something's really made well, you can feel the industry, but you just feel that's a little bit, the refinement in it, like this the T-Star might be made for bludgeoning something, but this is like a rapier, it's just like so smooth.
Yeah.
And so that's the only one I had like a tinge, but I'm kind of still new at collecting, so I don't think I really have had that experience of moving something and then really regretting it.
I don't think I have. Yeah, think I have any true like regrets. I mean, yeah, I just kind of moved on. It's interesting too. Like we've with Sam, when you're reviewing these, you like fall in love with something for maybe a different reason. And so again, like you have to sort of like look back at your collection and be like, what's my deal?
Yeah.
And I think that's way hard for Sam. Like for me, I can sort of look and reflect and say like, all right, this is the kind of stuff I'm doing, and this sort of suits me. And what watches say, this is Chris kind of thing. Like this is something Chris would wear, is like trying to fill that, that niche. And when you're constantly reviewing stuff, I cannot even imagine, like, because it's all noise all the time.
I've calmed down a lot of the reviews. The only watch that I ever regretted selling, this is the new version of it, but I had an issued one of these, original issued one, I think from the 80s or 90s. This is the mechanical CWC, the G10, but this was and I had an original one of these that had been issued, and I wish that's the only one I've ever regretted selling. And bearing in mind, I've sold the Speedmaster that I got married in. I've sold the Black Bay 58. I've sold
I love it.
An Omega X33 that I lusted after. But this is the only, and partly because I think it went up in value a lot. For some reason, these have really come down in price. CWC were really cranking the prices up on these. But
they were riding those up. Yeah,
I was always interested in those too, and I noticed like the prices sometimes, and then just as a newer watch collector, like sometimes I'll just do a quick comparison of, and I know specs aren't everything, but it's the easiest thing for a new watch collector to pull up and be like spec. Why is this one $300 more than this one? Kind of thing.
We can do a whole show on CWC. I've talked about it multiple times.
That's a resurrected brand.
This is a future rant. But Chris, this is a comment from Todd that might ring true for you. Did you see this one?
Oh, there you go. Oh. Yeah, I know. 914, fun stuff. But I even with like cars, watches, like one thing that I think, maybe people think like, oh, you're just like flipping these, and you're just like you never settle, right? You never settle on one, or like they're constantly like, oh, you got one and you sold it, you got one, you sold it. I can also understand. I can also get behind the folks that are like, I bought it, I wore it, I had experienced it, we had a good time, it was maybe not for me, and I moved on. I mean, so like, much better to give it to somebody else that's going to wear it than just drop it in a box someplace. Same thing with cars. I don't want to see your car in a garage someplace for 100 years. Nobody cares about your, like, I'm not going to pay $4 to see your, 914 from 1980. I don't care.
But, is that a thing? But people charge that?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like a whole, like
really.
So with the last generation, and I don't want to get ageist here, but with the last generation, there's this sort of like, like they'll get a special Corvette. Random example, and like, oh, it's a special Corvette, and so we're gonna keep it in my private car collection, and then like this private car collection becomes maybe like a little museum that's like $8 for people to see. Well, no one cares. Like I don't care. Like if you're bringing it to a Cars and Coffee, great. If you're out driving it, that's what I want to see. So like, don't take these and put these away and save them for the future, because the flip side is always the like, that story where it's like, oh, well, if my grandpa saved me a GMT, Rolex from but like, cool, then your grandfather didn't get to experience that watch for 40 years. He just left it in a drawer. That doesn't sound like a good time. So
it's like all those people that kept like the wrapped toys from where they were younger.
Right. Still in the box.
You're just like,
but like same thing with the comic books. I mean, like all of that stuff is not worth it, and no one wants your old comic books 80s and 90s kids. Nobody wants
that the hard way.
Nobody wants those.
Yeah.
Before we, Chris, you found this great Reddit story.
Oh yeah.
And we'd made a comment when the Moon Swatch debacle was going on, which they still haven't. They're still not selling them online. Ridiculous. They said they were and they weren't. But anyway, I'm over it. Maybe. But I kind of said, well, are they not putting their the public and they're not putting their staff at risk? And we talked about some of the London stuff, but you actually found this great Reddit post, which this is all alleged, of course. This is something written on Reddit. This is alleged, alleged criminality.
It came up in my feed, and I was like, at first I've been watching the Swatch site to see when I can buy the Moon Swatch. Right, I'm as I advised everyone to do, just take a breath. Buy it online, whatever. So I've got my link, I'm watching my link, and nothing's coming up. And then I see this pop into my feed. Well, apparently this guy here is, what's this, the Madrid store? Is that right?
Yeah.
And
looks like it, yeah.
And he's now I don't know whether the poster lives close. I don't know what the backstory is, but he's basically going down there every day to kind of get one or see what's going on. And I mean, he can identify everybody in line. It's the same guys. This isn't the public. This guy with the orange backpack right here, they're there every day buying his max allocation. I mean, come on, Swatch. Your fans are not out here. Yeah. And so then they show up hours after this line forms. They muscle into the line. The cops show up. They don't do anything. This guy, what's this guy's name? The big guy. What's this big guy's name? He's identified 5 times here.
Oh, Pablo.
Pablo's there every day.
And
every time a
guy with his backpack and his hat on here. Yeah.
And so then I took one look over on eBay, and they're just they're over on eBay for 4 times the price.
Look, 3 to 4 known resellers. This guy with his orange backpack on.
Yep,
that's his job. I bet. Is just outside a Swatch store.
Yeah, and you're like, Swatch, is this your new distributor deal? Is this guy sign this guy for a distributorship? I mean, he's moving these things. What are you paying? Probably $2 million for a web guy for, web development for. just hire this guy, right?
And I got a hot take on this too. Eventually one day I won't be a newish watch collector, but I still kind of am. I'm still learning a lot. And I'm pretty sure you can learn for years like anything else. Mm-hmm. But, I talked about this at one time in one of my podcasts where it was the Roberto Clemente Oris, right? I compared them. Now, I know they're not anywhere near similar as far as build, construction, quality, and all that stuff. But, my I'm from Southern California. I'm a Chicano, man. That's what I am. I grew up Fernando, all that stuff, Dodger fan, the whole night. But, Clemente is one of those players that if you play baseball, who Roberto Clemente is. If you're an outfielder, this guy was the best right fielder of all time, hit for power, cannon arm, all this great stuff. And, a Puerto Rican hero. And then you make a watch honoring this guy and you charge $2,000 for this watch. Well, right. I mean, so any little Puerto Rican person that's playing baseball or softball, I guess they're not buying it. Right. So then, Swatch owns them, all that stuff. They make this Moon Swatch, which is, I think, a cool idea, which I think if you're on the fence about the Moon Swatch aesthetic, and I get that you could buy a Lunar Pilot like that, but imagine if you're some young person and you got a job and you got $300 to spend, and you're like, oh man, I really want to get the Mercury one or whatever. That one's sweet. Yeah. The Mercury one's sweet, man. It's right up my alley. That's good. But I understand initially I cut some slack. I get it. You can have some mistakes initially, and then come out and say you're going to sell it online. But then all of a sudden you're like, now we're not going to sell it online. And then stuff like this happens. I mean, if you think about playing the long game, how many potential lifelong customers they just lost.
Oh, 100. Yep.
100%. We've mentioned this about
not even. I don't even think this is a hot take. I think we're all on your side, Jason. I think
it's crazy.
Every day that we move further away from a time where I can hit a button and put it in a shopping cart and check out. I'm I don't care anymore. And I eventually that's going to drop to way below the asking price, and I'm feel like I'm right about there where I'm because the week that it announced, my wife and I, we were going to buy 4 of them.
Yeah.
It was just, the FOMO was real, as they say. Jeremy I totally agree.
Yeah.
And and then it was like, only select stores, and we moved away, and it's like, I don't want to, right. I don't want to jump through hoops. I just want, like, you lost the sale at that
I mean,
point,
it's supposed to be a fun watch, right?
Yeah.
And then
right.
you take the one thing this watch is supposed to be out of it.
Right.
You, the
right.
company that made this, you took the fun out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like,
yeah, I see. I mean, I see brands do this all the time. They like don't realize how important some of these like sales and customer service interactions are for the whole sale. Like I've had a weird a sale of a like watch strap totally ruin a purchase.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, I don't even know if I want this watch anymore because this stupid strap, and they said it was going to be here, and the customer service interaction was all garbage. So
Black Bay 58 for me, I've mentioned this before.
Right.
I couldn't get it on the medal. But Jason, you made an interesting point there, because I thought, Chris and I talked about this at the time, but a lot of companies do this. I'm going to make reference to Braemont, but they're not the only one that does this. But Braemont a couple of years ago made quite a song and dance about these watches that they made to commemorate heroes of World War II. And my granddad was a tank driver in World War II. In fact, at one time he held a record for the longest tank jump. He was a tank instructor. Now, if Braemont had bought out a watch honoring the tank regiment, and these were like $7,000 a piece, my granddad never would have been able to afford that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are you honoring?
Yeah,
you're kind of honoring the.
That's a good,
But it's
so
a good point.
And there's this weird thing with this, right? Like, I've really noticed this since I've been in the watch collecting. And I'll just keep in my lane, right? I mean, I was in the military. I'm retired. I'm much more than that, but that's like my. Let's be brutally honest. That's my little niche, my little, be able to screen. They do this with a lot of stuff, man, and I think it's the most disrespectful and rude thing to the community that you're essentially saying you're trying to honor, but you price them out. Like the Breitling, they're beautiful watches, the P51, the Spitfire, all this other stuff. All right, I get it. I get the provenance. I get the history. But I mean, I guess if you own one of those planes, you can afford a Breitling just out of the pocket like that. But I mean, that's a $9,000 to $10,000 piece, And my thing is like, and I get where Breitling falls in the hierarchy of structure, and all that stuff. But the stuff like this Omega Moon Swatch, like, we're all three professionals, right? Let's be honest. We all have professional careers. Swatch, you want to hire me? $100 an hour. I'll answer all these questions, solve all the problems. Helm, and I'm only going to give this shout out one time. Helm watches. Everybody knows who Helm is. I have a Von Natu, right? I put myself on the waiting list for the titanium Von Natu and the Kuraburi. I got
in December of '97.
Yes, but if you go to the website and you put your email in, it tells you where you are in the queue.
Oh, okay.
And then you do get an email 2 weeks before saying your watch will be ready in 2 weeks. When you get an email, you have 48 hours to purchase it.
Right.
But at that point, you have enough time, right? And guess what? I bought the Kuraburi. I wore it. I took some cool pictures. It wasn't me. I sold it to my buddy who remained nameless but got recently divorced. And I said, "Hey, bro, you should get a divorce watch." And he's like, "Yeah, I should get a divorce watch." So he's got a Kuraburi. But it fits his style because he rides motorcycles and stuff.
Right.
And I don't want to give away too much information. But that whole system works. And you're talking about a company that's 1,000 times smaller than Swatch.
Right.
1,000 times.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
like,
we I mentioned many times, like with watch buys again, the 19th century agreements that these watch companies have made to like cut up the industry, like, oh, you can't sell these in this country, but I can be the sole reseller of this watch. You're like, how is that working in the 21st, like, world connected, everything comes in a air travel shipping? I don't get it. So
No,
like
there's a
big struggle. Yeah, big struggle with this industry. Always big struggle with this.
There's 100 different ways they could have handled that moon swatch thing. Nobody would have cared if they'd done a pre-order on it. Nobody would have said, okay, well, pick which one you want. Supply exceeded our expectations.
Yep.
Put your name on a list. I mean,
one per household is a checkbox in your e-commerce software. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
like you just
I got a Squarespace site. I know how this works.
Right. You know just enable it. Someone put down like 2 PO boxes. Oh, what are we gonna do? You're like, okay, you figure it out. You know, if they're not buying 1,000 of them. So
it's nuts, man.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to see if we've got any other questions here.
Someone earlier asked about the Longines Big Eye.
That one.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Canadian Watch Monkey that asked about it.
Yeah, but he's also mentioned Steinhardt, so I can't show his comment again.
Hey, I saw that Steinhardt Okla. Is that what it was? The Steinhardt Okla, which is a...
Oh, I'm sorry, the signal's breaking up, Jason. I can't quite... Sorry.
We've lost Jason.
We've lost... I'm very sorry. Thanks, Jason, for joining us.
What was that?
Bye, guys.
Well, I wanted to chat to you. Have you... I think that Citizen are like squarely focused on Seiko, I feel. And have you seen these great new divers? Well, first of all, they've expanded their mechanical range now, so they've got a whole host of new mechanical divers. But did you see this absolute beast of a watch that they released? 46 millimeters. It's titanium, and I will fight anyone on this. I think Citizen makes some of the best titanium cases on watches.
Yeah,
going, with exception obviously Grand Seiko, but they're titanium, their Duratech or whatever it is incredible. And this one has got their 9051 movement in it, mechanical, great Miyota movement in there, and it's like $1,400 or something. But I think they've done an awesome job of this.
Yeah. Let's click on the picture. Let's blow this thing up.
Yeah.
My buddy has it was from the America's Cup in 2003. He bought it when he graduated boot camp. So it's got like this glass, like almost like a ceramic case back with the America's Cup stuff on it. And it's titanium. And that thing is 20 years old now. It still runs anti-digi. Nice. And that titanium case is held up, man. And it's old. So
that looks. Citizen. That looks good. That looks good. The meaty bezel, very G-Shock. I'm gonna go out. Do night maneuvers.
So look at that. It's $1,295 or $1,095 on a strap. Which that 9015 movement, which I think it's designed from. Is it the 28225 or something, Chris? It's based roughly on an ETA, I think.
Maybe at some point. I thought they were pretty unique, but nonetheless, like those movements, they've got them in other things, and they're fine.
Oh yeah, and you can regulate them as well. I know where Veya use those 9051s, and I prefer them over the equivalent Seikos in that price range. And these
give me the look of these. Give me the 9000 series over a 7S26 any day.
I'm totally with you. These ones have got the 8000 series in it, which I'm personally not like crazy about, but the actual designs of these watches,
but we're in the $600 price range.
That's true.
So that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's when that thing's in a $1,400 watch, you're like,
And did you see? I don't know if it's actually whether you can get it in the US, but Citizen have. I should have been prepared for this, but they have actually so they, how they did the bull head. They recreated a bull head, like a modern version of the bull head. They've actually released an actual almost faithful reproduction of the original bullhead that was in. It's not in gold, but that was in.
This is a mechanical.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let me actually find it. It might be on. I know. I know exactly where it is. It's with on that shopping in Japan watch store.
That site's pretty awesome.
Let me just find it. This is. Let me just see where it is. They've got to have it. Where are you? Let me just see. Citizen Watch. Come on. Oh, here we go. Let me just. This one. Look. So they've done a panda as well in it.
Oh yeah, somebody on. I think I saw it on Instagram. Somebody.
Yeah,
it looks incredible. This and I've bought from this shopping in Japan before. Actually,
is it a Japanese only? Is that what the story is?
Might be, it might be. But you can get them on eBay. You can get them here as well. I don't know where the actual panda one is almost $100 more. But this shopping in Japan's pretty good if nobody's been on it because they've got some quirky. You pay a lot more for them, to be honest, but they have some quirky. So I would happily buy from here because they also send you can get the warranty card. But
they have a samurai on there that I like, or they used to. That it's a JDM, but it's like an aquamarine green. It's not quite the Hulk green, but it's also not a blue.
Okay.
And it's only sold in Japan.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped going to that website because I'm like, exactly.
Exactly.
So here's the panda.
I found I still have the Citizen Eco Drive, that pilot watch. I haven't.
You were a bit in and out with that.
I hung on to it because I'm waiting for my resale value to go up because this was one of those ones where I bought it from the UK thinking it was a UK only, and then they offered it here. So be interesting to see if if anybody knows that these will actually be available anyplace else. Be interesting.
Yeah, and I watched a review on this watch as well, and somebody commented that the bracelet wasn't that amazing, but this thing belongs on a bun strap like in the film. So you're just gonna have to buy it and live with it.
Just put the bracelet in the box.
Yeah, the bun strap's cool though because it kind of frames the case. It gives it like some visual contrast, and I think it's pretty cool.
And the other thing as well, did you see that the Casio got a major update? Jody at Just One More Watch reviewed it, but it's getting solar and Bluetooth. Did you see that, Chris?
Oh, I did not.
So this might be the one to get, actually.
Okay.
It's, here we go. Is this on? Yes, this is it on Hodinky. So it's going to get an upgrade soon. May 2022. Jody Just One More Watch, did he like that yellow, which I do as well, but I think this is the one to get with a little tip of red and the actual positive.
The blue is nice too. I like the kind of that dark blue. It's nice.
You need to make a gray one. Make a gray one.
Make a gray one.
Make
an unreadable gray one with gray hands and gray things.
That's quite good that they've done a dark.
Totally
they've done a shaded test to show which one you can.
Oh, okay.
They've done that.
Yeah.
So that one is the most legible. But this one's going to be a beast. This with solar and Bluetooth on it. I think this might be the one to go for. But you won't be able to put it in a metal case straight away because, according to Jody, they are an extra mil thick or something. So you'll have to wait for the aftermarket guys to
catch up. To catch up a little bit. Yeah.
But I really like the look of these.
I think the GA100.
Pick this one up.
That thing's running strong.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you've got one of the original ones.
Oh yeah, I have a GA100. I've had that thing. It's going on like 8 years. I've changed the battery in it once and it still works. It's insane.
Oh yeah. Not one of the Casios, one of the
no.
G-Shocks.
Just the G-Shocks. It's all black, but it's got the white hour and minute hands, and it's got a little orange backlight for dark light situations.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go, Canadian Watch Monkey again with another controversial one. not into Bluetooth watches may as well get an Apple Watch at this point. I don't agree with that because the Bluetooth is, although those don't actually sync with the app yet. Apparently, the app needs an upgrade according to Jody, but it sets itself like 4 times a day off your phone. I mean, I know it's still a bit cheap.
Yeah, I guess they don't. I have to interject. Like, what? I think it kind of based on like what functions it does. Like if it's gonna vibrate and tell you like that you're missing an appointment and all that, then you're kind of right. Like if it has a motor in it that has to be recharged with a lithium battery, then just get an F. Just get a smartwatch at this point. Like just give up and get a smartwatch. But yeah, if it's got it can set the time. And you can just press a button and to change time zones and and alarms and things. Yeah. I don't see that as being that feels to me like the same functionality that we used to get with all the infrared stuff. Like when infrared was like the only way you could like send data to and from a watch. So yeah.
I've actually got original handspring visor, which I'll show on the next. And that had the infrared before Wi-Fi and everything, and of course you had the Casio remote control TV watch and the one where you could play like computer games. And the Game Boy never had infrared, did it? No, you had to connect it physically. But, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. Well, as we come in sort of a final 4 minutes here, if anybody is interested, let us know if you've got any show ideas or any segments that you'd like us to cover in the show. We'll be trying to do a show. We're going to do one on Thursday, so we're going to try and keep Tuesdays and Thursdays at this time. Next week might be a bit weird because I'll be traveling, so I might have to play that one by ear, but I might be doing some meetups. Which I might be on other live streams as well, the less dramatic ones, but hopefully meeting up with some other YouTubers.
Sounds good.
Yes, before we go, is there anything, Jason? Did we cover everything you were wanting to talk about today?
Oh yeah, I'm just along for the ride, man. I just had fun.
Nice. I had the 3. I posted this in our Discord. So if you're not, I mean, I'm sure you guys know where the Discord is. So, but just to plug that we're on there all the time. But I took my my 3 travel in the watch roll, and so one was the GMT Bell & Ross GMT that I had on, and then I've got my 144.
I love that thing, man.
It's so good. It's so good on the bracelet. So I was like, this was the not on the bracelet, on the FKM rubber strap, and this is the like. You're going to the theme park. Yep, Zen. The gold rotor on the back. It's so good. Sunlight is sunsetting here, and the gold getting picked up. And then we're coming up on Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And figured I'd have a dress watch, and so I brought my 10th anniversary chronograph.
Oh, nice.
That's
that's handsome.
Yeah. Is it technically a dress watch? I know it's a dress watch for you.
I dressed it up. I dressed it up. Well, okay, so let's talk about this. What's looking better? What's looking better with a suit? This with a suit, or like that G-Shock? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like something like, I mean, like even the Zin, like even Jason's Zin on a NATO is not going to cut you can't wear that with a suit. Sorry.
No. And you know what's funny? I always like people talk about dress watches and suits and stuff, right? Not to go over our time, but I feel like 9 out of 10 times once you become a professional and you're wearing a suit amongst your peers in your community, right? So like Chris rocking that chrono in his community, they're all going to get it. They're gonna be like, yeah, man, it's a nice piece. You know what I mean? It goes through your suit. It's like if you showed up with like the Steve Martin watch from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, they'd be like, why is he wearing that for?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
absolutely. And I can't even remember the last time I wore a suit. When I was in the UK, the job I had before I left, several jobs before then, you had to wear a suit and tie every single day. And they come to the US and it's chinos and a shirt that slowly evolved in during the pandemic into
just your PJs.
Now it's just nothing with offensive logos.
Right. That's right. Just casual.
Yeah, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to watch this on repeat, you can watch it over on the YouTube channel. Check out Chris's Instagram at Everyday Mastery and Jason over at Watch Rolling on Instagram and watchrolling.com, where you can also find his podcast. Appreciate listening, and we'll see you next time on Casual Watch Talk. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
End broadcast. There we go.